Morning, folks. It's been a quick minute. Today, or this morning I should say, I'm out at Seacliff Bridge down the south coast of New South Wales. It's about 2 hours 45 drive from where I'm situated and a bit less from Sydney. And I've been here again probably now, I'd say half a dozen times, and it's a stunning place, but much like the luck I've had everywhere else, it's always been promising, and then when I rock up it's cloudless. Today it was predicted to be 80% high cloud, 20% obviously no cloud. And well, you guessed it. Where I plan to point my camera is the 20%, and 80% is probably just over there, just past the camera view. If you are able to see it, it is quite bright. So anyway, I'm going to put the camera down for a bit, take up a few shots. I'm here by myself, so I'm hoping to keep it that way. And I'll check in with you once I do a bit of scouting and find a bit of foreground. Definitely got heaps of midground. It's just finding nice foreground without falling off the cliff. There's a plant here. There's a plant right above me. There's a plant here that seems pretty good as a foreground interest. No bueno. Well, it might be. You know what? Don't like it. Don't like anything, because the sun is quite off-putting. And having a Sony 16-35, I'm just too far away to get anything nice. So what I might do is whack on, where is it? We've got a little bit lower. There's a bit of a viewing platform with a chair to sit on and have a nice morning, evening, whatever you come here for. And what I might do is actually go down there and get it more front on and get the nice golden light shining on the cliff edge rather than anything kind of out in the ocean. So, without further ado, let's go. So here we are at the lower portion of the Seacliff Bridge lookout. And essentially what I'm looking at here is straight through the two sides of the bushes. There is a bit of a clearing where you can stand right on the cliff edge and drop off if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend that. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even recommend coming here without proper footwear, because it can get a bit slippery, especially if there was recent rain here. Anyway, I'm gonna get stuck into it. And look, what I might do quickly is just get my 100-400. Because at the moment, I'm just not getting the depth of field that I want. I just snapped up a few shots, and that's at 35mm. So just quickly show you, you'll see there's no clouds or anything else like that, so which is fine. So I might kind of zoom in on the actual bridge itself and the surrounding cliffs and get a nice intimate shot. So here we go, 100-400 Sony. We'll just make sure steady shot is on. Fantastic. I don't have any filters or anything else, purely because I don't really necessarily want it. Might just bring up the ISO to about 400, which is quite reasonable, just to bring the shutter speed down. And I'm sitting at a focal length of f45. I will 2-second timer just to allow me as much stability as I possibly can. And here we go. Not bad, actually. Check it out. So that's a perfect example of even when plans don't go as planned or unplanned, or if unplanned, regardless, if your plans don't go as planned, there's always a way of finding a decent shot. And I'm sitting at 100mm focal length, and I might just drop it a bit. Wait for a car to come across the bridge. Now you probably can't see much of the bridge just based off the angle that you're at, but I'm sitting at 1/500 of a second shutter speed. ISO is 400, f 4.5. This seems to be the sweet spot in terms of getting the shallow depth of field and not blowing out the highlights. So what I'm essentially trying to do here is time it so that there's a car basically in between the two ferns, leading the eye towards the cliffs in the background. So I have that how would you say, out of focus focal length in the foreground. In the midground I have the bridge and the car going that way into the background, showing that golden light. So I'm going to tell you, you would have seen the B-roll by now, the drone B-roll, and one of the things that really pissed me off about DJI is how quickly it goes from low battery to critical battery. There's more than sufficient time for myself to get it back to base, even if I take a few extra shots, even in cold weather. And the problem is, when it's low battery, you can override it. But when it's critical battery, it does not care what you do. It just does its own thing. And just like at a previous location out in the Brindabellas, cut up my hand pretty bad because of the same sort of scenario that I described. And this time, it started to go so in front of the cliff under where I was situated. So luckily I kept on pushing up, and the app actually came out of the interface. So I had to go back in, and it is a thing that really can get frustrating, and that's when mistakes are made, as I did last time trying to stop the DJI from going off the cliff by grabbing it while it's fully operational. Cut me up pretty bad too. So let me know what you think of the photos so far. If I haven't posted all of them yet, have a look at the rest. And look, check out my socials, vlad.photos on Instagram. I'm not as active as I used to be on there, but you know, if you want to get in contact or if you want to head out shooting. And until next time, hooroo.